Hi guys, welcome back to Ferris Tutorials. CSEC Food, Nutrition and Health past paper question for the exam year 2022, and in today's episode we're looking at question 1. Now let us look at the question in details. Define the term lifestyle disease. 2 marks. Name 2 lifestyle diseases that can negatively impact the health of persons in the Caribbean. 2 marks. State 2 factors other than the level of activity, pregnancy, and lactation that can influence eating patterns and dietary choices in the Caribbean. 2 marks. Explain how each of the following factors leads to changes in dietary needs. These factors are level of activity, pregnancy, and lactation. And finally, discuss 2 factors that may threaten the food security of elderly persons within a community. Now, let us look at this question in a little more detail. Define the term lifestyle disease. Now guys, just a little exam tip before we explore the answer. If you see something in exam that you forget or you think you've never done it, it's always important for you to use context clues, right? So in this case, we're looking at lifestyle disease. What is a lifestyle? The way in which someone lives their life? Of course, you're right. All right, now let's take a look at the answer. So, lifestyle diseases can be defined as diseases linked with one's lifestyle. These diseases are non-communicable diseases. Now, NCDs or non-communicable diseases are those that can't be transferred or passed on to someone else via contact. They are caused by lack of physical activity, unhealthy eating, smoking, and also alcohol, which can lead to heart disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and in some cases, lung cancer. Now, when you're defining your terms, for exam, in this case, you notice that definitions of terms are normally 2 marks. So it's very important for you to have at least 2 sentences or 2 main points, so that you can get your 2 full marks. So just to review, lifestyle diseases can be defined as diseases linked with one's lifestyle, or if you want to say illness or ailment, you can choose. That's 1 mark. Then these diseases are non-communicable diseases. That's another. You mentioning the cause, which is the lack of exercise, unhealthy eating, smoking, alcohol abuse. Another mark, which can lead to heart disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and lung cancer, just to name a few of those diseases. Here I also have 3 other definitions in which you may choose from, whichever you're comfortable with. But whichever you choose, make sure you have at least 2 points when you're giving your definition for a term. So 1, lifestyle diseases are ailments that are primarily based on the day-to-day habits of people. 2, lifestyle diseases are defined as diseases linked with the way people live their life. These are non-communicable diseases. 3, a disease associated with the way a person or group of people lives. Now, moving on to the next component, name 2 lifestyle diseases that can negatively impact the health of persons in the Caribbean. We have an extensive list here. You're only required to list 2. Overweight and obesity, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, iron deficiency anemia, dental caries, eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia, heart diseases, and also stroke, right? And these diseases are caused by the way someone live their life based on their lifestyle. So not exercising, not eating a balanced and healthy meal can lead to having one or more of these diseases. Next question. State 2 factors other than the level of activity, pregnancy, and lactation that can influence eating patterns and dietary choices in the Caribbean. Now, there are different factors that influence what person eats or what they choose to be a part of their diet, right? Now, this question says, other than level of activity, pregnancy, and lactation, were to state 2 factors. Now, think about it. What are some factors rather, that may define or that may determine what you eat? Let us look at some responses. So the first one that we're going to look at is age. Now, moving from infants to elderly, throughout those stages, you notice that the body may require some particular nutrient at different stages throughout the life cycle, right? Now, infants may grow rapidly in their first year, and they may require particularly type of nutrients, some important nutrients to prevent nutritional inadequacies. Also, with children, you want to prevent things such as deficiency diseases, such as maybe kwashiorkor or marasmus. So we have to include protein-rich foods in their diets and also carbohydrate-rich foods so that they have enough energy to play, move around, grow, etc. Now, adolescents, you may find that bone growth is rapid during these years, and also female adolescents may lose iron via menstruation. So to prevent anemia, you may find out that they may have to choose certain types of foods that are rich in iron sources. Likewise with adults female too may want to consume food that are rich in iron as well as vitamin C to aid the absorption. So some things are more important than others based on the stage, your age stage. The elderly will not require so much energy giving foods that are low in sodium, low in sugar, because they're not actively working anymore, and as a result their body will not require any energy dense foods. But foods that are easily to digest, foods that are healthier using healthier cooking method, and also foods that are high in fiber to aid in their digestion, as some secretion of digestive juices may be reduced at this stage of their life, right? So that is it for age. And as you can see, other pointers there if you want to pause the video and make a jottings of few that you could state when you're discussing the factor age, right? We're also going to look at sex or gender. Now, the calorific requirement is generally higher in men than in women, and this is because men have larger body size and they are usually more physically active and have more lean muscle mass. Now, additionally, women would need more iron to replace what was lost during menstruation. Occupation. Now, occupational activity of an adult affects energy and nutrient requirements, and this changes their dietary needs. So let us look at an office worker versus a construction worker. Who you think uses more energy? The construction worker. And thus they will require more energy giving foods, more foods that are rich in carbohydrates to help them push through, mixing those mortars, laying those blocks, etc. While an office worker may just need as much to answer the telephone, maybe filing, etc., but not as extensive as the construction worker. We're also health concerns and special dietary needs influence what persons eat, right? As precaution must be taken when we're planning the type of food to be taken in or to avoid. Now, in some cases, persons, for example, who may have the lifestyle disease, hypertension, they're hypertensive, so they may want to stay away from salty foods. They want to stay away from processed foods. They want to stay away from foods that are high in fat. Similarly, with persons who may be diabetic, may want to stay away from foods that are rich in sugar, rich in starch, etc. Now, individual requirements also very important, and special needs. Some individuals may have specific nutrient requirements or special dietary needs. For example, if they have food allergies or intolerances, they may choose what to eat, or what they eat may be influenced by those factors. So a person that may be allergic to dairy may want to choose soy products, or for example substitute dairy milk for almond milk, stuff like that. And persons who are convalescing. Now, a convalescent is a person who is recovering from an injury, maybe an operation. So they may need adequate foods that are rich in iron if they went through an operation and had some amount of blood loss. If they have wounds, they may need vitamins and minerals to help to heal those wounds quickly as well, and also to build and repair body tissues by the protein, etc. Right? So you're only required to state 2 factors, and those 2 factors must exclude level of activity, pregnancy, and lactation. So you can look at age, you can look at sex or gender, occupation, health concerns, and special dietary needs. You can also look at special requirements as well for those who may be convalescing, or those persons who have intolerances or allergies. Now, let us look at our next question. Explain how each of the following factors leads to changes in dietary needs. And this time we have to look at level of activity and also pregnancy and lactation, right? Now, level of activity. A person who is more active or athletic, a person who plays sport, will require more calories than a person who is inactive, basically, right? Or a person who have a sedentary lifestyle. Now, pregnancy and lactation, they're referring to breastfeeding. That person also, women also would require more nutritional needs as well. Now, let's look at a little in detail. Now, the level of activity may refer to the type of work they do or their lifestyle. If they're active, someone who goes to the gym to work out will need more energy giving foods, more protein to help build their muscles than persons who just persons who are inactive, or as we say, have a sedentary lifestyle. Now, the nutritional needs of women increase during pregnancy and breastfeeding to support all of these changes. Certain nutrients are of utmost importance to prepare the body for delivery and for breastfeeding, and to ensure the normal development of the baby or the fetus. Now, adequate blood supply is needed, so they may have to consume foods that are rich in iron just to prepare them for childbirth, and also to have adequate supply for the growing baby as well. You may also find that a deficiency in certain of these nutrients can affect the growing baby or the fetus. So we may say a lack of iron can cause anemia in the pregnant mother, and thus this may lead to low birth weight, or it may lead to premature birth or even stillbirth. So we have to be very careful when we think about the stages and what these changes and how they affect our dietary needs, right? Lactation as well, very important, because the baby is gonna need all the essential nutrients from the breast, right? So therefore, the mother will have to eat a balanced diet that is well nutritious, that is enhanced with maybe fortified items like maybe vitamins. Last question reads, discuss 2 factors that may threaten the food security of elderly persons within a community. Now, when we speak of food security, we're talking about all persons at each time have safe access to adequate food. And this particular question don't ask for all the vulnerable groups, but it picked out the elderly. Now let us look at why these factors that may affect their food security. So we speak of socioeconomic status may be one factor. So the elderly, they're not working anymore, and thus less income is coming in. Some may get pension, well, while some may not, right? Some persons may not have the finances to purchase food and food that their body requires at this stage, and thus that become a factor, right? Now, infectious diseases, it may be a pandemic. Now, look at recently and still going on. In what? In 2023 here, we have some cases of COVID. They may be scared to go out because they're more susceptible of contacting these viruses, because their body may not be as strong anymore to fight them off. So you may find out that infectious diseases can prevent them from accessing food as well. Whereas natural disasters, farmers may die during a natural disaster, who produce, and they are the ones that produce the foods. We may speak of breakaway of infrastructure, such as roads leading to the market, to the supermarket, flooding where livestock or crops may be destroyed. All of those factors may influence or threaten the food security for the elderly. Speak of their age too. They're not physically able anymore. Some may be wheelchair bound, and psychological factors may affect them. They may forget to eat. They may feel lonely. All sorts of stuff that you can think about that will threaten the food security of the vulnerable group, right? So we speak of low income customers, right? So the lack of purchasing power deprives them from access to food, even if the food is available. We spoke of natural disasters, which is prone in the Caribbean, maybe hurricane, floods, and droughts that may destroy crops, livestock, or even the farmers as well who produce these foods. And also we speak of infectious diseases. They may be forced to stay home, therefore access to food is reduced, and food may not be available because, as we say, farmers may get sick or they may die. Now, malnutrition and infectious disease are linked. Poor nutrition leaves the elderly underweight, weakened, and also vulnerable to infections. And when when they get an infection, it may cause malnutrition, as it have an impact on their absorption and their body's ability to utilize nutrients, and in some cases, the body's requirement for them. All right, guys, so that's it for question 1 of paper 2, CSEC Food and Nutrition 2022. Please stay tuned for question 2. If you have any questions, concerns, you can leave it in the comment section. And of course, Fairy Tutorials wishing you good luck. Awesome. You've made it to the end of the session. Please remember to subscribe, turn on your post notification bells so you can be notified when there's another upload. Watch those ads, and don't forget to share with persons who you know will find this information useful. Thank you for making it Fairy's Tutorial.